Welcome to another day of accountability where I talk about what I've learned in terms of data analysis. So, today we're going to discuss the day in the life of a data analyst. But instead of giving you the bullet points, what I'm going to do is explain it in a way where I try to apply it personally, even though I'm not a data analyst. But I feel like, in essence, there are key elements that I could per se correlate to data analysts because we deal with data, even though I'm probably dealing with information. But nonetheless, let's begin. So, what to expect in the day and life of a data analyst, or how can I apply what it is that data analysts do in terms of my personal life. So one of it is acquiring data from different sources. I can relate to this in terms of sometimes, right, when it comes to posting products. Not posting actually, but creating products on Shopify. Depending on your supplier. Sometimes some suppliers do have data, sometimes they don't, right? I work with ChatGPT, I'm not gonna lie. I spam ChatGPT, but nonetheless, obviously you have to use a discretion when it comes to ChatGPT. So, yeah, searching for the item online, right? Looking for spec sheets, that's a PDF document, or searching on sites, other sites, which is web scraping. I don't do the web scraping. ChatGPT does the web scraping, It's either ChatGPT can look for the stuff for me, and then I'll just verify that, okay, cool, these details are good. Or alternatively, I can go to competitor sites, competitors that actually put effort into their descriptions, and then be like, haha, there we go, boom, blah, 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 blah. There we go. But obviously, I'm going to apply whatever technique I need to apply in terms of copy or use a different format, So yeah, that's acquiring data from different sources. And then another thing that is a part of a data analyst's day-to-day life is creating queries in order to get data from repositories. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm going to talk about ChatGPT a lot. Well, that's because for me, that's been like one game-changing tool. Okay, cool. There's this one time, right, that I was dealing with, I'm dealing with fixing products on our website because some of them are not up to standard, for lack of better words. So when I'm dealing with like this data set, what I do is that sometimes I create a GPT that'll help me per se streamline this process. One of the processes I called duplicate correction, where some items are duplicated, but the SKUs are different, the barcodes are different, but because of my past work and how I dealt with ChatGPT, it just read the description and then it made everything the same. Pardon me if this doesn't make sense, but nonetheless, I created this prompt, right? I told it to commit this specific word to memory, which is, duplicate correction, right? Duplication correction. And what I do is that I upload the PDFs and then I just do this duplication. I just tell it, hey, let's run the process of duplication correction. Instead of typing, hey, do this, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, So that's how I've found that applies to my life. Obviously, as a data analyst, you probably use SQL, and then that's going to interact with the data repository, and then bloom, blah, there's magic. Nice. So the next step is to seek insight in data, creating reports and dashboards, interacting with stakeholders for gathering. The next step is to seek insight in data. How I would apply that in my life, which is one thing that I've been aiming to grapple my mind around, especially when I find the spare time, is to seek insight in data. So what I aim to do sometimes is to seek insight in terms of what's happening on social media, what's trending, since lately we've been aiming to make progress on TikTok. So obviously I've been paying attention to trends, paying attention to the zeitgeist and whatever's going on there, how businesses interact with people, how they present themselves, what can be done in understanding the nature of things. And that's data. Obviously I could go deeper besides for analytics, but I could go deeper in terms of like understanding or finding sources that will actually give me a bigger view. But that's been it, just looking at it directly, you feel me, and trying to analyze it directly from my point of view. But another thing that I've been aiming to do is to look into Google Analytics, extract the relevant data, find out, okay, cool, how can I, or what products can we post or articles can we create from the data that is here? What articles are actually doing great? How are we standing in terms of like our SEO? Which I really need to get into the mood of, but currently I'm just focused with GMC. But nonetheless, that's a topic for another day. Yes, your Google Merchant Center. Yeah, I've definitely been looking at a lot of data there. But that's neither here nor there. That's mainly been data cleaning. Actually, what really got me into per se data analysis is the data cleaning that I've been doing, And then I noticed it's like, oh, okay, people actually do this professionally, because sometimes I see the limitations that ChatGPT has. Because ChatGPT does have its limitations, or my use of it and understanding of per se data analysis limits ChatGPT in order to do what it is that it needs to do, because ChatGPT can only go so far. Machines can only go so far in terms of understanding what it is that a person wants, especially if I don't even know the full spectrum of how to operate. I'm going off on a tangent, but nonetheless, that's that. Okay, cool. We talked about finding insight from the data. Then it's also another thing that data analysts do on their day-to-day lives is to create reports on their findings, you see. So you take that insight, then you create reports. This is one thing that I've been aiming to do, especially because we've been dealing with Google Merchant Center, is that I've created a folder, right? I've taken my boss's advice in terms of admin, because I was all over the place. Now I've become a lot more neat and created a folder for Google Merchant Center, the problems that we face, and day to day creating files with the issues, the progress that's been made, the CSV files that I've created, products that I've worked on, products that I'm yet to work on, and also titling them correctly and making sure that the titles are standard and everything, which is one thing that I've learned through this course, is to standardize the data, but also make things clean, make it neater, make it findable, make it understandable, which is honestly like basic admin stuff. But as you can tell, my chats are all over the show, so my mind sometimes is just like, but nonetheless, cool. So what I've been doing is that when I get the opportunity to, I obviously compile that, do the work, but also make some sort of progress report, that either validate or debunk or whatever my suspicions, and create a way forward, converse about a way forward, converse about what it is that I'm struggling with. And that's been it. Obviously, as time goes on, I'm going to refine my reports. Then another thing that a data analyst does in their day-to-day life is to converse with stakeholders. I've been using the word converse a little too much. Nonetheless, yes, it's to talk with stakeholders about all of this good stuff that they found out, the insights, the reports, and what would be the best way forward. I guess I put that in my report. I haven't really had a sit down and talk about A, B, C, D, because there are also other tasks that I need to focus on, but definitely that's one thing that as time goes on, I will implement. I feel like once I gain a lot more confidence, then definitely, because there's a bit of a bridge and gap in terms of my confidence, Anyways, that's a chat for another day. But nonetheless, I believe that should be it. Cleans and prepares data. Oh yes, and then there's one more thing. Cleans and prepares data for analysis. How do I apply that in my life? What I can talk about is when I am taking the issues from Google Merchant Center, right? The issues PDF, but also exporting products, right? And then matching the products to Google Merchant Center, and then making sure that I'm addressing the issues within this PDF. I guess that's how I clean up the data and get it ready for work, because it'll be useless using every product or working on every product and overhauling everything. But I believe that's it. So that's all for today, kids. That's all for today. That's how I would, or how I see myself applying data analysis day-to-day tasks or operations in my personal operations. But obviously I just need to refine it a lot more and make it cleaner. But nonetheless, thanks for watching.